August 17, 1981. A quiet afternoon inside a small social club in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Dominic "Sonny Black" Napolitano stands behind the bar. The room is almost empty. The usual card games are silent. Slowly, he begins removing his jewelry, first his rings, then his watch. One by one, he places them carefully on the bar. He hands over his apartment keys to the bartender and leaves some cash behind. Then he says something strange. "I'm going to a meeting, and I might not come back." Before leaving, he asks for one last favor: take care of my pigeons. A few hours later, Sonny Black would be dead. But to understand why this moment mattered, you have to understand the man who walked into that meeting. Dominic Napolitano was born in Brooklyn in 1930 and spent nearly his entire life in the same neighborhood. Williamsburg was a place where loyalty mattered and reputation was everything. Growing up in the streets of Brooklyn, Sonny Black quickly learned how power worked in the world around him. Small hustles, petty crimes, and street deals were part of daily life. But Sonny wasn't loud or flashy like many others in that world. People who knew him described him as calm, polite, even friendly. Yet behind that calm personality was a man known for something else entirely: absolute loyalty to the Mafia. By the 1970s, Sonny Black had risen through the ranks of the Bonanno crime family. He became a trusted earner and eventually a captain. His headquarters was a small social club called the Motion Lounge on Graham Avenue. To outsiders, it looked like a normal neighborhood hangout, but inside, the business of organized crime was constantly unfolding. Gambling, loan sharking, and deals that stretched across multiple states were discussed casually over coffee and cards. At the same time, the Bonanno family itself was going through one of the most violent periods in its history. Internal power struggles and betrayals were tearing the organization apart. Sonny Black found himself in the middle of this conflict. In 1979, one of the most powerful Mafia bosses, Carmine Galante, was assassinated during a brazen daytime shooting in Brooklyn. The killing changed everything inside the Bonanno family. After Galante's death, Sonny Black was promoted to captain and gained even more influence. For a while, it seemed like his power was only growing. His crew was profitable, his reputation was strong, and his connections extended across New York and Florida. But around this time, a new figure began appearing in Sonny Black's world, a man known as Donnie Brasco. Brasco claimed to be a skilled jewel thief looking for work. He was calm, capable, and quickly proved himself useful to the crew. Sonny Black liked him immediately. He trusted him. He defended him during arguments with other members of the family. Eventually, Sonny Black even introduced him as a friend of ours, a phrase that carried enormous meaning in Mafia culture. But Donnie Brasco wasn't who he said he was. His real name was Joseph Pistone, and he was an undercover FBI agent. For nearly 6 years, Pistone had been secretly infiltrating the Bonanno crime family. He recorded conversations, documented crimes, and built relationships with the very men he was investigating. Sonny Black had unknowingly welcomed an FBI agent directly into the inner circle of the Mafia. When the truth was finally revealed in 1981, the consequences were immediate and brutal. The Bonanno family had been humiliated. Mafia leaders believed someone had to pay for allowing an undercover agent so close to their operations, and that someone was Sonny Black. He knew exactly what was coming. In the Mafia world, mistakes like this could only end one way. Instead of running or cooperating with the FBI, Sonny Black accepted his fate. On that August afternoon in 1981, he walked out of the Motion Lounge and into a car waiting outside. He was driven to a house in Brooklyn where several members of the family were waiting. As he walked down the basement stairs, a gunshot rang out. Sonny Black, was killed instantly. Years later, former Mafia members would say that he died with dignity, accepting the consequences of a life lived inside a violent and unforgiving world. The irony of the story is impossible to ignore. Sonny Black remained loyal to the Mafia until his final moments, but many of the men involved in his death would eventually cooperate with the FBI themselves. The code of silence that Sonny Black died for would not survive much longer. And today, decades later, the story of Donnie Brasco is remembered around the world. The movie became famous, the undercover agent became a legend, but the man who trusted him, the man who vouched for him, the man who paid the ultimate price for that trust, was Dominic "Sonny Black" Napolitano.